Hi, today I'd like to invite you to watch a short recap of the movie Coherence. Enjoy. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps. At Mike and Lee's house, dinner preparations begin while a comet approaches Earth, turning an ordinary reunion into a night of impossible choices. Em arrives with a cracked phone and unfinished tension with her boyfriend Kevin, who wants her to join his upcoming work trip to Vietnam. The hosts welcome Em, and the early conversation stays light, though her uncertainty about Kevin's proposal already hangs over the evening. Hugh and Beth arrive, followed by Amir, while Mike pours drinks and gathers the old friends around the kitchen. Em learns that Amir is bringing Lori, Kevin's former girlfriend, making her already fragile confidence even harder to maintain. Lori enters warmly and acts comfortable around Kevin, while Em tries to hide how much the reunion unsettles her. Over dinner, everyone notices dead phone signals, and Beth mentions Miller's comet, which is passing unusually close to Earth tonight. Hugh recalls reports from an earlier comet passage when people experience memory loss, confusion, and strange behavior before morning. The group laughs off the warning, but small personal tensions surface as old relationships and forgotten stories are casually exposed. Mike admits he once starred in a television series, and the conversation briefly turns playful before attention shifts toward Em's abandoned career. Em explains that she created a dance show but refused to become another performer's understudy, believing she deserved the lead. While she hesitated, another dancer accepted the opportunity and eventually inherited the entire production when the star withdrew. The story exposes Em's deepest fear: one delayed decision can let another person step into the life she wanted. As the comet draws closer, the internet disappears, and Hugh reveals that his physicist brother warned him to call if anything strange happened. Before anyone can reach him, the power fails across the neighborhood, leaving the dinner party surrounded by darkness. Mike lights candles and distributes colored glow sticks, giving the frightened guests enough light to move through the house. Outside, the entire neighborhood is black except for one brightly lit house 2 blocks away beneath the comet-filled sky. Hugh believes the house may have a working landline, but Beth reminds him that his brother specifically warned everyone to stay inside. Ignoring the danger, Hugh chooses to investigate, and Amir accompanies him while the others wait with blue glow sticks. As the men disappear, the remaining guests discuss the Tunguska event, when an object from space flattened a vast Siberian forest. A violent impact suddenly shakes the front door, convincing everyone that something outside has found the house. They arm themselves and search the rooms, but no intruder appears, and Mike manages to restore limited power with the generator. Just as panic rises, Hugh and Amir return. Hugh is injured, and Amir carries a sealed box taken from the illuminated house. Inside the box are photographs of all 8 guests, each marked with a handwritten number and bundled with an unfamiliar object. Hugh finally explains what terrified him. Through the other house's window, he saw the same dinner table, prepared for the same people. He insists the building looked exactly like Mike's home, yet the guests refuse to believe they could have visited their own doubles. The numbered photographs create a second mystery, especially because several images appear old while Amir's was taken only moments earlier. Another knock reveals a note on the door, written exactly like the message Hugh planned to leave at the other house. The group compares the note, photographs, and handwriting, realizing someone elsewhere is repeating their decisions before they complete them. Amir's picture shows him staring toward the doorway during the earlier disturbance, proving a hidden observer photographed him inside this house. Em recognizes her own handwriting on one photograph, though she has no memory of writing the number on it. The impossible evidence worsens Em's argument with Kevin, who dismisses her jealousy about Lori instead of addressing it. Mike demands answers and proposes visiting the lit house again, hoping direct observation will prove whether parallel versions truly exist. Several guests form an expedition, carrying blue glow sticks while others remain behind to protect Lee and the house. In the darkness, they locate a house identical to the one they left and glimpse familiar figures moving inside. On the return path, they encounter another frightened group, carrying red glow sticks, each person apparently facing their own duplicate. Back inside, they describe a strangely dark zone between the houses, where direction and distance became difficult to judge. Hugh remembers that his brother left a physics book in the car, so Mike retrieves it for any explanation of the comet's effects. The notes describe Schrödinger's cat, which remains both alive and dead until observation forces one possibility to become real. A second theory suggests both outcomes continue in separate branches, creating parallel realities that no longer affect one another. The guests realize the comet may have prevented those branches from separating, allowing many versions of the same night to overlap. Mike becomes convinced that a dangerous version of himself exists nearby and may attack before the realities divide again. Hugh points out that the other house already differs. Lee was awake there, while their Lee has slept through most of the crisis. That difference means the physics book may exist in only some branches, giving Mike an idea for stopping another house from finding it. Mike plans to blackmail his counterpart with a private secret, believing fear will keep the other Mike away from Hugh's car. Meanwhile, Beth admits giving Lee a calming mixture containing a small amount of ketamine, raising suspicion that the night is hallucinated. She shows the bottle and explains the dose was tiny, far too weak to create the same detailed delusion in 8 people. The group accepts that drugs cannot explain the photographs, duplicate house, or strangers who share their faces. An unopened package of blue glow sticks proves this may not be their original house. Before they can leave, Mike returns from outside. Mike says he delivered the threatening note, but his account of elapsed time does not match what the others experienced. They discover Hugh and Amir are gone, along with the photographs, the box, and the only copy of the physics notes. The group suspects the first Hugh and Amir were visitors from another branch who returned the stolen evidence to their own home. Kevin goes after them despite M's protests, leaving her to wonder whether the man who returns will still be her Kevin. While waiting, M studies the remaining clues as Lee and Beth try to keep the frightened guests calm. The photographs and broken phones now seem less like evidence of one duplicate house and more like traces from many different houses. Away from the table, Laurie corners Kevin and brings up their history, testing whether his relationship with M is truly secure. Their private exchange turns intimate enough for Beth to notice, confirming M's fear that Kevin still responds to Laurie. Elsewhere, Mike and Beth quietly confront the affair they once concealed, another secret now threatening to destroy the group. When Kevin returns, M asks about Laurie. He minimizes the encounter and his impatience deepens the distance between them. A car window shatters outside, forcing everyone to leave the house together and search the dark street. The guests inspect the vehicles with flashlights, finding broken glass but no thief, weapon, or clear reason for the attack. M shows Kevin an old ring from a happy day together, and he promises that Laurie has not changed their relationship. The damaged car contains nothing worth stealing, suggesting another group searched it for an object that existed only in their reality. Hugh and Amir finally approach with blue glow sticks, but their calm behavior immediately feels different from the men who vanished. Hugh repeats the journey as if it just happened. His bandage is wrong and his red glow stick story contradicts the unopened package. Multiple versions of the same note confirm there are far more than 2 houses, each repeating similar choices with small variations. To identify this house, the group decides to create a unique box containing numbered photographs and a random household object. They gather pictures, cut them apart, photograph Amir, and prepare a new set of markers unlike the first box. Each person rolls a die and M notices Amir's new photograph differs from the one taken in the other house. They place a coaster inside as a random code, hoping anyone who returns can verify that they reached the correct home. Mike calculates millions of possible combinations once numbers, objects, and glow stick colors are included, revealing countless parallel branches. M quietly asks everyone to remember the number from the first box, then compares their answers with the written record. Only Beth and Lee match this house because they never crossed the dark zone. Everyone else arrived from somewhere different. M concludes the black area acts like a roulette wheel, sending anyone who enters toward a random version of the house. Before they can decide whether to search for home, another note appears, addressed to Mike and referring to the hidden blackmail plan. The message exposes Mike's old affair with Beth, and Hugh learns that nearly every friend knew except him. Hugh's unbroken phone and the conflicting box objects prove the people in this room now come from several separate realities. One remembers a stapler, another an oven mitt, another a paddle, and another a napkin, destroying any remaining sense of belonging. Humiliated and furious, Hugh attacks Mike, while Mike argues that this Beth and this Hugh may not even share the same past. A violent alternate Mike then enters the house and beats his counterpart, turning suspicion into the chaos everyone feared. As the guests scream and fight, Em abandons the collapsing group and runs alone into the dark zone. She passes another house where fear has already become violence, with friends restrained, injured, and attacking one another. At other windows, M sees different outcomes of the same dinner, ranging from bitter arguments to uneasy attempts at peace. Eventually, she finds a branch where everyone remains relaxed. The power crisis never destroys them, and Kevin treats her with tenderness. In this peaceful reality, Kevin supports the Vietnam trip and the group laughs together. M decides this is the life she will take. She smashes a car window to lure the other M outside, then ambushes her counterpart and hides her near the vehicle. Using the confusion, M returns to the party, claims she was checking the cars, and accepts the affection meant for someone else. The comet finally streaks away, but M notices movement inside and discovers that the woman she attacked is still alive. In the bathroom, the two versions struggle violently until M subdues her counterpart and conceals the body. Her ring falls during the fight. Exhausted and drugged by the ketamine mixture, M collapses before she can erase every trace. Morning brings normal power and calm faces. Kevin returns M's ring, then receives a call from the surviving M and recognizes the imposter beside him.